else we expected, but you know, one day we might surprise you.
This week we thought that we'd go through a technique-based video.
Yes.
And what we decided was, what movement do we see performed in the gym that is probably the worst in terms of technique? It's one of the worst.
Well, yes.
And it's your squat. Okay.
Yeah, basic move. For most people would see is a basic move, bending your knees. But actually,
and your hips.
And your hips, yeah. Well, that's it. It's just, you know, it's a natural thing that we all do, isn't it?
Yeah.
But people can get it so wrong.
People can butcher it.
Yeah,
big
and it's
time.
actually very technical. And you come right. It sounds simple, but it is a very technical move, quite an advanced move.
Yeah, you've got a lot of moving joints. So you obviously your hips are moving, your knees are moving. But then everything attached to your torso has got to remain relatively stable.
Yes.
All right, to keep the bar locked in place.
And that's what people struggle with sometimes, isn't it? And obviously different people have different tightnesses in different places, and that can cause it to look quite ugly sometimes.
That is an understatement.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is we're going to run through a quick warm-up using foam roller.
Yep.
And a few mobilisation drills like dynamic stretches. From there we're going to go through to different points of a bodyweight squat, because we believe that you should be able to master a bodyweight squat before you start adding load to it.
That's the first stage, yeah, get that right.
And then we're going to run through a few progressions from your bodyweight squat all the way up to your barbell back squat.
That's right, and we'd recommend if you are going to do a squatting session or add it, you would get these warm-ups done first, just to get everything moving.
100%. Whether even if you're just doing bodyweight squats, alright, just get everything moving, everything mobile, blood flowing, loosened off. Yeah. Get you ready to squat.
Which is what we're going to do now.
Right.
I've got mucky knees.
I've got.
Can't even see it.
Right, the first thing Mel is going to do is she's going to foam roll a calf. Okay, so you want to get yourself set up for that.
Right.
The reason why we do this, it's like one of the areas that people have the most restrictions. Okay, if your knees can't go over your toes, then you are potentially going to struggle with your squat, because if you can't get any more movement there, that movement's got to come from somewhere else, which is likely to be a hip. And all of a sudden, rather than having like a good squat, you have that one where it looks like you've been crushed by a piano. Okay, the area you want to sort of focus on is like this bit here.
Yeah, that's the painful bit.
Okay, the area between your soleus, which is that thin muscle there that goes all the way up, and your gastroc. Go on, Mel, get it rolled.
Get it rolled. Yeah, you can definitely. Oh,
have you got leg warmers on?
Cold! I don't want my ankles on display.
Fair enough.
I'm living my best. What's it called? What's that film called where they dance? Fame.
Dirty Dancing?
Maybe.
They
are loose.
So spend no more than say 30 seconds to a minute on each side.
Okay.
Okay, from there we're going to move up. So next we need to mobilise the muscles around the knee, or warm up the muscles around the knee. So we're going to start off, Mel's going to foam roll the quads for me.
Right.
Just roll all the way up and down those quads. What you can do when you foam roll your quads is sort of like rotate your leg in and out, so you hit all areas of your quad, but you can also get that IT band down the side.
That is the painful
That
bit.
is a bit painful.
I'm sweating already.
When you're foam rolling for a warm up, you don't want it to be too painful. You don't want to spend too long on it. It's just there to get blood flowing, loosen off your muscles a little bit. Good.
Oh, the blood's definitely flowing.
Yeah, we get the idea with that.
Yep.
Right, from there, Mel's going to foam roll the reductors.
Oh, this is not like I'm humping the floor.
Really is dirty dancing.
Yeah, it is. Is that the easiest way to do it, do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, it is. It could be. This could get us a banned off YouTube.
Yeah, I hope not. There's nothing sinister going on here. It's just a bit of foam rolling.
That's right. There's one leg.
Switch over onto the other one.
One leg. Beautiful.
Good.
Oh,
we foam roll those hamstrings a bit.
Oh yeah, forgot about those buggers.
I don't ever feel that in my hamstrings.
You don't yeah, yours aren't. No, it's not too bad to be fair. The right leg's always worse than the left. a shoulder workout doing this.
It's a bit, isn't it? Look at them triceps getting tensed. Then from there we're going to do your glutes, so just sit on the roller.
Yeah, you can use a ball for this, can't you?
Yeah, ball works a bit better because it's got like, it's better at getting into the actual muscle. Like Mel's done, crossed one leg over a knee. What she could do, if she wanted to be really cruel, is push down on that knee a bit.
This one?
Yeah, and it'll change the sort of angle, so you'll hit different areas as you foam roll.
Oh yeah, definitely feel it.
And switch over and do the other side. That's pretty much it in terms of the lower body. You could do some foam rolling exercises for your upper body, you know, just to sort of improve your mobility, but because we're just focusing on bodyweight squats today, we'll just stick to lower body.
Cool.
Okay. Right.
Okie doke. So, next part of the mobility warm-up is more sort of dynamic stuff, isn't it? So, Phil's going to do this bit. We're going to start off with some leg kicks. So, sort of like swings, leg kicks, forward and back, just to really get the hip mobile, stretch out, forward and back. Do that on both legs. And then we're going to move from the forward and back to more of a lateral kick, side to side, just to get, well, because you think about your hip, it works working through so many angles, the ball and socket joint, you want to loosen it through the whole range of movements. So it's going to go side, face it on that. It's handy to have something to hold on to, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Good thing to do is when you do it, start off just with little ones, and then gradually build it up, get a bit higher.
Yeah, as your hip loosens off, you should be able to be kicking people's heads before you know it. So we're going to move from those side kicks.
Oh, I'm
after,
side,
sorry, yeah, we don't
want
want
me to be injured. Jump, you know.
We're going to move, when he's got his leg kicks done, we're going to move into a hip rotation into a lunge. So you might see some footballers doing this.
Yeah.
So I'll get out of your way.
So from here, bring your knee up nice and high, rotate out.
And then back into a lunge. So again, you're getting that full movement of the hip round and then stretching it back into a lunge. Good. So the hip flexors are getting a good old mobility drill. And good for his balance as well, I would imagine.
See how it's like on the
Let's see what it's like on the other side. Good. Very good. Brilliant. Last one. Okay, from there, I'm going to move into some pause squats with some internal and external rotation.
Yeah. I'm going to use this
Just
to start with, just so you've got something to hold on to. If you can do it without, by all means do it without.
Yeah, but it's handy to have something nearby that you can hold on to just for balance.
What you're going to do, squat down, drive your knees out, bring them back in. Drive them out, bring them back in.
So sitting in that bottom of the squat position, also just stretching out the hips as well, and obviously getting that in and out movement with the knees.
Yeah. So that's your external rotation.
Out external,
Then your
internal.
internal. Twist. 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 That's good.
Good, so hips all warmed up. Two more little things to do before we get started on the actual exercise. Literally bridges, which is down on the mat, lifting the hips up into a bridge position. And then we're going to do some band dislocation, which is really an upper body drill. So to really squeeze it, those glutes hard.
I like to put a cheeky pause on them.
Cheeky pause.
So you
So
really feel them glutes
Feel
working.
them, yeah. So you're getting everything activated and really driving up through the heels as well to get some good height on it. Fabulous. Lovely. So we just included one upper body drill. It's useful to get your shoulders loosened off as well. Because remember, if you are going into barbell back squats, you're going to be in this position. You want to loosen off the shoulders. So for the sake of this, we're going to do it laying down, and Phil's going to what we call band dislocation. So taking the band, it looks painful, I know, but it's not. Taking the band over as far as your shoulders will allow, and you probably find when you've done a few reps, you can probably get it a little bit further. But just go as far as your shoulders will allow. And obviously we've got a resistance band here, so it has a bit of give in it. You could do it with a bar, but it might be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Well done.
It's better to do it live on your front, because sometimes what you'll see when people do it stood up is they'll come over and then they'll really extend through the lower back to enable them to get it over.
Yeah.
Whereas if you lie on your front,
you can't do
that.
Yeah, it stops you doing that to allow the band to go back. But yeah, in terms of warm up, what we've just seen there is sufficient, isn't it?
100%. Yeah.
I feel pretty warm myself.
Yeah, I'm a bit sweaty.
So that's good. So obviously next thing we'll be getting into the actual move.
Excellent.
We're here again.
So
we're all warmed up.
We're all warmed up.
We're all warmed up, ready to go, and we're going to talk about sort of 5 vital points, aren't we, to run through a bodyweight squat.
Yep.
So Phil's going to go through those, and I'm going to demo.
Excellent. First point is your stance, in terms of how wide does your stance want to be. Some people prefer a really wide stance, some people have a really narrow stance. Stance is completely individual to you.
Yeah, and it sometimes takes a while to find that perfect stance.
You want to pick whichever stance allows you to squat the most comfortably with the best form. Okay, for most people starting out, it's roughly about shoulder width.
Yeah.
Or you do with your clients.
Yeah, with my clients, we tend to work. If you power up into just like a vertical jump, what you'll find is that your feet will naturally go into a strong position where you're strong. So you land, and generally, that's generally a good position from squatting from, because your body knows that's a strong position.
Yeah.
It doesn't always work. It works for it generally works for me, but yeah.
So that's point 1.
Yes. That's
so once you've got
one.
your stance.
Stance, yes.
Next is your foot.
Okay.
Okay. You want to make sure that your weight is distributed evenly along your feet. So what you need to do is have, we call it the tripod. Okay. You have your big toe jammed into the floor, little toe jammed into the floor, heel jammed into the floor. So you've got those 3 points of contact.
You're avoiding this and you're avoiding this.
Yeah. And it just keeps everything sort of balanced. Because when it comes to squatting, if you start squatting and all of a sudden your weight rolls inwards, you're losing power there. And that's going to transfer over to your squat and make it more inefficient.
Yeah.
So that's point 2. Okay. Point 3, once you've got your feet sorted, you got your tripod, then you want to externally rotate those knees a little bit. Okay, you'll feel your glutes fire up straight away.
Right, yes, you can.
Alright, because we want to engage that posterior chain. So external rotation, you want to try and maintain that throughout the movement when we actually do it, on the way down and on the way up.
Yeah, because that's another thing you do see a lot. Knees caving in is very common, especially in women.
Yeah. Point number 4 is starting with the initiation of the squat. Sometimes what you'll see is people will just try and go straight down, the knees will come forward and then they'll jerk the hips back.
Yeah.
Okay. Start off with a bit of a hip hinge. So hips go back slightly. Okay. It's that way you load all your glutes, all your hamstrings for the movement.
Loading back, that's it,
And down and
keeping that contact with all the tripods on the toes and the heel.
And the last point is to keep your weight over the middle of your feet. So keep your point of gravity sort of rather central.
Yeah, because sometimes you can feel your weight rolling forward.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see people falling backwards,
yes,
going
definitely
forward.
with a bar on your back.
It helps to have your arms out in front of you as well, because they can act as like a bit of a counterweight as you do it.
So keep pushing the knees out. That takes a bit of thought.
That's a pretty good front squat.
Keeping
Pretty good
the
squat.
knees tracking out. It's a lot to think about.
It is a lot to think about. But you need to do the movement like that and go through all those 5 points before you start putting any load through it.
Definitely.
Just to reduce your risk of injury, but as also to make sure you're working the muscles as they're intended to be used.
Yeah, that's so true, yeah. So just, remember those 5 points when you start your bodyweight squat, and once you've nailed them, you can move on to something more advanced.
Stance, feet, knees,
Tripod.
hip hinge. That's it.
Perfect.
Like a dance group.
Right. Okay, so we've warmed you up, we've mastered the bodyweight squat, you've got that down. Next progression is what we would call a goblet squat to a box. Now the box setup in terms of height, just below the back of your knee,
you want
generally looking for?
Yeah, you want it to be low enough so that when you're down, your hip is just slightly beneath your knee joint.
That's what you're looking for.
Because then you're working yourself through that full range of motion.
Yeah, and the box being there is just making sure you get that depth every time, really. And also for some people it's a bit of a confidence booster that if they do land on their ass, they're not going to go too far. So it does help for people, especially if you're new to squatting. So, first time we're going to do it with a goblet, what we call a goblet, which is, we're going to use a kettlebell in the front position, so you're holding it like a goblet. The reason for that is the weight being at the front of your body, it's like a counterbalance, so it helps with balance basically. As you're going down, you're not going to fall backwards because you've got that weight in front of you.
Yeah, keeps you nice and upright as you squat.
And obviously again for beginners it's really helpful. So, Phil, let's see it. So he's going to bring that weight up into the goblet position, so on your chest. Feet, you know, the foot position, we talked about it, yeah. Hinging the hips back, making sure he gets that depth down to the box every time. You know all the points from the video we did previous, they all apply. So we're just going to do 2 or 3 more reps like this. Lovely, so he's making sure he always engages with that box every time.
A good thing to remember is when you sit down, just touch the box. Don't sit all the way back.
Yeah, so you're actually using muscles to lift up rather than just bouncing off the box. So you're not using that, so you're actually using your glutes and your legs and everything to get you out of that hole. So, we're going to take the box away from them, I'm afraid.
You what?
Yeah, sorry. The comfort blanket's got to go.
Do you know how many squats I did then?
I'm sorry, Phil, I'm sorry. So, yeah, nothing really more to say. We're taking the box away and he's going to try and hit that depth again. Points the same as before. Make sure you got the foot position, tripod, toes, heels. And he's going to get down exactly the same. Perfect. Lovely.
I always find that
Phil, he's probably getting low on that box to be fair. Yeah. But he's a professional.
I always find a good reference point is your elbows. Touching the inside of your knees.
You know you've hit that depth. And make sure you're getting the knees out, which is one of the points we told you earlier. So getting those elbows between shows that the knees are tracked outwards. Very good.
Ghost.
Well done. Perfect. Right. Moving on to
Before we start,
yeah.
I don't know what this is all on about. I did it 120 kilo before. Now you're giving me 2.
I didn't actually put them there, I don't know where they came
from.
But as they're there, let's make use of them. Moving on, next stage of this squat progression. We're moving into 2 kettlebells. So it's like a front loaded squat again, but using 2 kettlebells. You can use your own dumbbells, no matter what you use.
Yeah, hold them just in the same position. Exactly. You can hold them like that.
So he's going to have one of these 20s on each shoulder, basically, or close to shoulder. And we're going to use the box for the first round. We're being kind, sort of. So, principles still apply with the foot position, with his toes, heels, tripod, hips drive back, knees push out. Brilliant. Good. Keep those knees tracking out. And again, same with the box, just literally grazing it with your backside so you know you're getting the depth. And then I'm sorry, I'm whipping it away. That was almost like a pathetic whimper. I have no choice.
This is not fair. Choice. Right. So
right.
Do it without now.
Yeah, you do it without the box. Brilliant. So again, remember you can use dumbbells. Good. Well done. Brilliant. So yeah. Front loaded squat with dumbbells, kettlebells, whatever you want. And what we're going to do from here is move into some more advanced move with barbells. So obviously we'll be in the gym area for the next bit of our video. But yeah, we're moving up the queue to a bit more advanced stuff, aren't we?
You're doing barbell stuff. I'm goose.
I knew there was a reason why you volunteered for this bit. Honestly, I've been cottoned.
Oh.
All right.
So due to a lot of background noise in the gym area where we're having to do this next part, we just decided we'd better to do a voiceover so you can see what's happening with Phil and also listen to me telling you what's going on. So obviously this first one, front squat, hand position, we've got fingers on the shoulders and the elbows drive up really high. All the points in terms of the squat are the same as before. The 5 points that we spoke to you about in the earlier videos still remain the same. At this point, we're squatting to the box. Brilliant. So next thing, we're going to show you an alternative hand position. So just showing you from the other angle. So this one, some people might find easier because some people struggle with their elbows. So cross the arms. The thumb goes between the bar and the clavicle. And again, drive the elbows up. It's not particularly comfortable because sometimes the bar ends up feeling like it's in your throat. But in order to keep that heavy bar in position, you need to keep driving the elbows up. And then we're literally squatting down to the box as before. And now we're about to remove the box. So here we go. He's going to go with the fingertip elbows up hand position because that's just naturally which one he prefers. And usually you'll find it's better with a heavier weight to use that hand position. And he's squatting without the box. And obviously for Phil, he can get a lot lower without the box. Okie dokie, back squat. So here you'll see Phil just getting his hand position right. So he'll use the lines on the bar to line up his hands. But basically for you, depending on your arm length, you want your hands to be outside of the shoulders. You can see where he is there. The bar's positioned on the meaty part of the traps, not on the bony bit of the neck. And we would suggest avoiding using a bar pad because what happens with the bar pad, it literally throws that bar into a really awkward part on the neck. You're better going without the pad and try and get it on the meaty part of the shoulders, that really muscly bit, and it's more cushioned there. So again, squatting to box in a back squat position so he can always make sure he's getting that full range. So last little bit, we take the box away from him, unfortunately. But just remember those 5 points that we said at the start. Get your stance right. Get that tripod through the big toe, little toe and heel. Make sure the knees are tracking over the feet, and also make sure you initiate with a hip hinge and then keep the weight over the midfoot. Follow those points and you can't go far wrong. Well, that is it. We've done the video. We've showed you all the I know, poor old Phil. He has to do a lot of the work today. I do feel terrible about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It just shines through.
Yeah. But, guys, yeah, the idea was to show you how you work through the progression of squats, where to start and where to end. Don't throw yourself straight under a bar if you've not done it before. Work through what we showed you.
Yeah, you need to master the
5
bodyweight
points.
squat. Yeah, so the 5 points of your bodyweight squat, get your stance, tripod with your feet.
Yeah.
Okay, rotate those knees out. Okay, hinge at your hips first before you start to go down, and then throughout your descent, try and keep the weight over the middle of your feet. That applies to
everything.
All squats,
Yeah.
whether you do it bodyweight,
Yeah.
whether you do it with a goblet, kettlebell, front rack barbell, barbell back squat,
Yeah.
overhead squat.
Everything. We didn't
Okay.
do that one today, but yeah, definitely get it
Yeah,
mastered.
thank God.
Really, but no, we're thinking about it. But yeah, one thing we were going to discuss.
Oh, you may have noticed when I was doing the barbell version, I was wearing a snazzy pair of footwear. Okay. These are your Olympic lifting shoes or squat shoes, known by a couple of different names. Benefit to them, pretty solid heel. Okay, so when you squat down, you push your feet into the floor, you don't lose some of it from the give in the sole of the shoe. They've also
Phil, don't lie to us, you just like wearing high heels. Just try to
only
tell
on
you.
weekends. Only on weekends. Yeah, you'll also notice they've got an elevated heel, so that allows you to have more mobility at your ankle joint, which means your knees can come further over, which generally means people stay more upright.
We
when
do
they
struggle
squat.
that, especially when you were discussing when your clients struggle with a lot with ankle mobility. So you might see a lot of the time we put people's heels up onto a raised platform. That helps them generally get a bit lower because it takes away that bend in the ankle that they're struggling with, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So
I mean, you don't need to use them.
No.
I've got clients that don't use them, but when you do squat, I would make sure you wear something that's got like a firm sole to it. So if you're not going to wear squat shoes,
like Converse
or a pair of Vans,
Something
they've
flat.
got a bit of a solid heel.
Yeah.
Something that's flat.
Because generally most sports trainers have got, well, a lot of cushioning in their heel, haven't they?
Yeah. So if you don't make that tripod with your foot and your feet roll a bit, it's just going to be accentuated by a soft sole.
Yeah, that's definitely worth noting. But yeah, that's all the points for the squat. There's a lot to think about, but if you remember those 5 basics, you'll have it.
Yeah.
Apart from that, have a go and let us know how you get on. And that's really us for today.
Next week we're going to be talking about something to do with nutrition. I think we've got another couple of recipes for you.
Yes, we may well have. So we're trying to rotate between nutrition, workout technique and stuff like that. But throw anything at us in the comments that you might fancy seeing. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's health and fitness related, we're on it.
As long as I get to wear my sexy apron again.
Oh, you really enjoyed that, didn't you? Yeah. We'll try and arrange that as well. But
Don't
yeah,
forget
guys,
to like and subscribe.
like and subscribe. We always say like and subscribe
Okay.
the video and tell all your friends, and let's get loads of subscribers on our channel. See you later.
Thanks.
Bye.